This is the solution video for the probability revision worksheet. In the first question, we see the word arrangements, and this tells us that we're dealing with permutations. We've got 5 books. We want to arrange them with no restrictions. That'll be 5 factorial. There's a button on the calculator for this. You'll see here we've got 5, shift the x to the power of -1, gives me my factorial symbol. My answer is 120. Just a quick reminder of what factorial means. 5 factorial, for example, is 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. In part 2, the art book has to be in the middle, so I have to take this restriction into account. A good idea here is to visualise that restriction. I want to put the art book in the middle. There's one of those, and how many options for the remaining places? 4 options, 3 options, 2 options, and 1. I'll multiply these together to get my answer, and I've got 24 possible arrangements with the art book in the middle. Same idea in part 3. I've got 5 books still, but I want to put the art book on the left and the maths book on the right. There's one option for each of those, and then I've got 3, 2, 1 for the remaining places. And when I work that out, I've got 6 overall possible arrangements. Question 2 is quite similar. I want to arrange the letters in the word formula, and there are 7 letters there. So 7 factorial will be my calculation, giving me an answer of 5040. Next, I want to find the arrangements where the 3 vowels come together. First of all, to help me visualise this, I'm going to write the vowels together, and then I'm going to have a look at how many pieces of information I need to organise. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm thinking of these vowels now as being like one chunk or one unit of information. So there's 5 things I want to organise. That'll be 5 factorial. But of course, there's not just one way of organising these vowels within their own group. There are 3 factorial ways because there are 3 of them. So I'm going to have 5 factorial times 3 factorial, or 120 times 6, which is 720. In part 3, I want to find the number of arrangements where the vowels don't come together. If I take the situations where the vowels are together and add them to the vowels where they're not together, I get the overall total of all the different arrangements. So if I want to figure out the situations in which the vowels are not together, I'm going to take all my arrangements, of which there are 5040, and I'm going to take away the arrangements in which the vowels come together. And this gives me a solution of 4320. Question 3, more permutations. 6 children on a bench. I want how many arrangements are possible. That'll be 6 factorial, which is 720. In part 2, I've got restrictions, youngest at the start, oldest at the end. So I'll fill those spots in, and then the remaining options for the other positions. And I'm going to end up getting an answer of 24 different possible arrangements. 2 of the children are twins. In how many ways can the children be arranged if the twins must sit together? I'm going to do a little quick sketch to help me visualise this. I've got 6 children here. These 4 are just random children, and A and B are the twins. I want the twins to go together. I'll think of those as being a unit of information. So first of all, I've got 5 units to arrange. That's 5 factorial. But there are multiple ways in which the twins can be arranged within their group. Because there's 2 of them, that'll be 2 factorial. So 5 factorial by 2 factorial will give me 120 by 2, which is 240. Note that in questions 1 to 3, a common word being used is arrangements, and that's a big hint that you're dealing with permutations questions. In question 4, the language is slightly different. I'm talking about people being selected from a group. And so order isn't as important here. I've got a soccer team of 11 being selected from a panel of 18. I want to know how many teams can be selected if there are no restrictions. In these types of questions where it's all about selection and choice, we'll be using the NCR button on the calculator. Sometimes that's represented as NR in brackets. How many teams can be selected? Well, there's 18 to choose from, and I'm choosing 11. So 18 choose 11, or you can write it this way also. Going to my calculator, I'm going to put in 18. Now the NCR is over the divide button, so shift to get there, 11, and my answer is 31824. In part 2, the captain must be selected. If the captain is definitely being selected, I need to think now about what other choices I actually need to make. I have 17 other players to choose from, and since the captain is already on the team, I only need to choose 10 people. This gives me a solution of 19,448. How many teams can be selected if the captain is banned for the match? So the captain is out of the picture completely. So I still have 17 people left to choose from once the captain is gone from the bunch, but I need to choose a full team of 11. So it'll be 17 choose 11, and so it's 12,376. Next question, I've got a TV package. There's 30 channels I can choose from. I have to pick 10 of them. I can pick whatever I like in the first part of the question, so that's 30 choose 10. And putting that into the calculator, I get a really, really big number actually. So I got 30,045,015, loads of options there. I have to pick the news channels. It's just the one news channel from the way that's being phrased. So if the news channel's in, I only have 29 channels to choose from them, and I need to pick 9 to make up my 10. And I've got 10,015,005 options there. In part 3, I must pick the music channel, but I can't pick the news channel. That means for the choices that I have to make, I only have 28 channels that I have left to pick from. And I have one of my channels picked. I need to pick 9 more. So it'll be 28, choose 9. So I get just over 6 million options for that. Finally, question 6. And again, I'm picking or choosing or selecting. So I'm still dealing with NCR. I need to make a playlist of 5 songs. I can pick from a list of 10, including Thriller and Monster Mash. How many ways can I choose my list if there are no restrictions, first of all? So that's just going to be 10, choose 5. So there are 252 ways of doing it. In part 2, I must choose both Thriller and Monster Mash. That means I've got 8 songs left to choose from. And to make up my playlist, since I already have 2 chosen, I have 3 left to choose. So there are 56 ways in which I can choose the list. In part 3, I can choose neither of those songs. So again, I still have 8 songs to choose from. I can't choose those guys, but I need a playlist of 5, so I have to choose 5. And 8 choose 5 equals 56. Remember, in these types of questions, if they're asking you to arrange, if order is important, then it's permutations. And if they're asking you to choose or select, then you're dealing with combinations.